everybody out there in podcast land. I am Brad, head of marketing at BRIJ. I'm here today with our CEO, Kait Stephens. How's it going, Kait?
Hey, Brad. I'm excited to be here.
Likewise, I always wanted to be a podcast host, but it's sad to say, everyone, I'm only here for one episode. I'm just here to help kick things off. We have an awesome podcast that we've been working on, and this is the launch episode. We have all these cool guests coming on. I thought, why don't we learn a little bit more about Kait and why we're doing this? And that's why we're here today. How's that sound, Kait?
It sounds perfect. And be careful if you're too good. I think that you'll be doing many more episodes. So watch out.
All right. That sounds fun to me. Okay. So let's get going.
Sounds great.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your personal story and career to date.
Sure. So I am from New Jersey, outside of Philadelphia, went to Georgetown undergrad and then started my career in investment banking, quickly moved over to private equity. And on the investing side, I focused on omnichannel and the future of retail, have always had a passion and interest in the space. And, what I found when I was investing, one, I uncovered a bunch of problems, especially around brands' ability to be omnichannel, but then more specifically found myself jealous of the founders that I was investing in. Knew that I had this itch to be an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur, definitely inspired by that, and also started a nonprofit while I was investing. It was really my first side hustle and foray into entrepreneurship. Absolutely had the itch, knew I wanted to build something, and went to business school to take the time to explore this entrepreneurial bug that I had. So went to Harvard Business School, where I met Zach Morrison, my now co-founder at BRIJ. He and I started iterating on a couple of different ideas. And when we graduated, that was really when BRIJ started.
Awesome. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why you wanted to do this podcast.
Part of what I love about our job is that I get to talk to brands that I use and love every day, whether it's the baby brands that I'm using with my child, the food and beverage brands that I'm consuming, the makeup products, like those are our customers. It's so fun. And the podcast is an opportunity to learn more and then share some of those best practices, the pain points, what's working, what's not. And sharing that with our community is the number one goal of the podcast.
Digging in a little bit there, why the focus on omnichannel?
Back to when I was an investor, was talking to all of these brands on the investing side and hearing from them that when they sell through retail, wholesale, marketplaces, that it's literally a black box. And that, the fact that they knew nothing about their customers through these channels was pretty eye-opening. The pandemic, COVID's both acceleration of e-commerce adoption was a huge catalyzing factor. And so what we saw was traditional retail-only brands were setting up a direct presence. And meanwhile, your D2C only brands were moving into channels like retail and Amazon. Amazon makes up more than 50% of e-commerce. And so what we saw was the emergence of this omni-channel brand. And so that has been that is what brands are looking to do. It's the D2C playbook is broken. The way that Allbirds went to market, because of where costs of acquisition are right now, that time has passed. Facebook and Instagram is too expensive as the only way for a brand to get to market. So having that direct channel is incredibly important. You're hard pressed to find a brand today that isn't looking for a retail strategy, looking for a marketplace strategy in order to scale. And this is, in the last year, a new phenomenon that this is the absolute must go to market for brands. So what I'm looking to do with the omnichannel marketer is understand how brands are thinking about these different channels, how they're being an end-to-end brand experience across those channels, because I hear from customers, I hear from brands every single day about how difficult it is to have a consistent omni-channel relationship with their customers. It's not an easy feat. And learning from our podcast guests around how they bridge these different channels and have a synonymous omni-channel relationship with their customers is the goal and why we came up with the name of the podcast.
That sounds amazing. I am so pumped just listening to that and excited for what's to come. Speaking of what's to come in the coming episodes, what are you most excited about learning and unpacking with your guests?
Yeah, so I love founder stories. I think like the different inspirations that brought a founder to do what they do, that's, I think, just always fun for me and for listeners. I also love how like the different tips that a brand will bring and that a founder will bring about what's working. And this is what I'm most excited to bring to our community is bringing different strategies and tactical solutions to our community. When you get into retail, how do you drive sell-through? Or how do you get into that first retailer? Like what are the tactical ways to do? And those tactical tips are what I'm most excited to bring to our community.
All right. Sounds like there's a lot of learning opportunities ahead of us. A unique feature of this podcast is going to be what we call the lightning round. And it is now time for Kait's lightning round. And the lightning round is a series of questions, rapid fire, where you don't have too much time to think about the answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First, your favorite omnichannel brand.
Favorite omnichannel brand is Swell Bottle.
What's the Swell Bottle do?
The Swell Bottle, like the water bottle, I think it was the first water bottle to really innovate, just their technology to actually keep your water cold or warm. It's beautiful. So it really becomes more of a fashion like statement. They're D2C, they're in retail, they're on Amazon, they're all over the place. But I think there's a lot of water bottles in the market now, but I think it was the first to really innovate and make a water bottle beautiful and then also functional.
All right, cool. I might have to check one of those out. We go through a lot in my house with little kids. They just seem to disappear. All right. If you had a magic wand and you could change something about the industry, e-commerce, retail, omnichannel space, what would it be?
The black box of retail and marketplaces. I truly believe that there is a win-win relationship to brands having more data about their customers that sell through these channels. That is the goal and mission of BRIJ, is to create these win-win relationships and break those black boxes. A consumer doesn't think about the channel that they're buying through. They experience brands across social media, retail, marketplaces, their direct website, and they don't care about where it's whatever is convenient or whatever experience they're looking for. Bringing that same omnichannel relationship to the brands and the retails, that's what I'm looking to change.
And we're making some waves every day there. What is your favorite social media channel, and who are you most inspired? Who are you following lately to learn from?
I love learning from other founders that are on LinkedIn. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, I think has an incredible story. I think she has an amazing presence on LinkedIn and other social channels, and love following especially other female founders that I'm really inspired by.
Yes, that's a good one. She's a classic. Set the stage for so many. Wrapping up, a couple more questions here. What is your favorite book?
My favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I just think it's some very tactical things around bring someone's name when they introduce themselves, and just these life skills that I think are really important to just being a good person, but also being a good founder, as well as being good in sales, which ultimately you're doing a lot of on a day-to-day basis as a founder.
That is a classic book. And it's one of those books that you can read it and reread it again, and you'll still get value from. All right, last question, and then we'll wrap things up. What is your favorite event that you're looking forward to going to this year?
Yes, I'm really excited about Expo West. I just think it's like the most fun. All the brands come out. They're in different outfits. They have these amazing booths set up and get to taste all of their samples. It's the most fun event. So that's in March. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that is one of the best. And last but not least, if people want to follow you and connect with you, what's the best place to do that?
So definitely first on LinkedIn. I'm also, so Kait Stephens on LinkedIn. I'm also on Twitter, Stephens_Kait, and you can find me on Instagram as well.
We'll be checking you out in those channels, and that is the episode 0 of the Omnichannel Marketer. Hope to see you all soon.
Super excited for all the guests that we've already filmed and that we have lined up. Can't wait to share this with everyone.
All right. See you all next time.
If you liked this podcast, follow me and the BRIJ page on LinkedIn and Twitter for hot takes and tactical advice. If you really loved today's episode, we'd love a review on the podcasting platform of your choice, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks for listening.